Hello world, it is February 20th, 2012. Hope everybody's having a great start to their week so far. And today I'm going to be doing my review of The Host by Stephanie Meyer. Now, as you know, Stephanie Meyer is the author of the world famous Twilight Saga, and this is sort of her first adult science fiction novel. And so in The Host, the Earth has been invaded by aliens, but not your typical alien invasion story. So what happened is an alien race called, there's no real name for them, they're just sort of called souls, have slowly been invading Earth by implanting themselves in human beings, taking over their minds and their bodies. So I think so this famous soul called Wanderer, who's been to like 9 other planets and stuff like that, has been implanted in a body belonging to a young woman called Melanie Strider, who is a member of sort of the last pockets of human resistance, in the hopes, and what they essentially do, they implant Wanderer into Melanie in the hopes that she will access Melanie's memories and find the human resistance. However, the task is proving difficult because Melanie is sort of fighting back. What happens is that in sort of the whole concept of the soul implantation, when souls implant into the bodies of normal humans, of like adult humans, like late teens, or when they get to like the late teens, early adulthood, humans, it becomes increasingly difficult to gain control of the body because the body, the mind of the previous person, the soul of the previous person will start fighting back and eventually start overtaking the soul. So Melanie's sort of fighting back against Wanderer's attempts, and during their fighting back, the two begin to bond inside Melanie's body. So Melanie, as she starts slowly trusting Wanderer, who's also, she starts accessing her memories and stuff like that, letting her access more and more of her memories. And Wanderer learns of probably the two most important people in Melanie's life right now, which are her brother Jamie and the love of her life, Jared. So Wanderer and Melanie set out to find them, not to try to turn them over to the souls, but to reunite Melanie with essentially the most important people of her life. So the book revolves around that, and once they get to the human colony, the whole has a whole theme of acceptance and trying to find acceptance in the community and stuff like that. So here's what's good about The Host. It's a very interesting take on science fiction and the alien invasion sort of thing. It's not that cliche alien invasion. Yeah, they did this. There was a very similar concept in Invasion of the Body Snatchers, that very classic sci-fi movie, that sort of thing. But this still feels fresh and new because of the depth and complexity of this tale that Stephanie Meyer had decided to take with writing Host. Another thing that I really liked about The Host was the very well-developed characters. The Host gives us extremely well-developed characters with multifaceted personalities. This is something that's really, really missing in Stephanie Meyer's Twilight novels. As we all know, in Twilight, the infamous Twilight, the characters are very one-dimensional. They're very flat. They're very, they're very one-note characters. So here you have really deep characters, and because this is a really tough, really dangerous situation that brings out multiple sides of a person's character, and it makes these characters much more relatable and connectable with the readers than instead the bland, one-note Twilight characters. And on the topic of characters again, one of the things that's also really sorely missing is character development. While The Host is only one book, there is more character development than any of the 4 Twilight books, altogether as a whole. I mean, this feels like this has been written by a completely different author at this point. Because there is so much, the characters start out at one point and then end on a completely different point throughout the novel. And that's a part of a journey. The journey, whether it's a journey to get to somewhere, whether physically or mentally or emotionally, the character ends up in a different place in all aspects, and Stephanie Meyer succeeds in doing that with these characters, because in the beginning of the novel, they're at one point with their mindset, their views, their personalities, their ideas, their favorability to Wanderer and Melanie, and then at the end of the book, they're at a completely different level, and it's just it makes this personal journey much more meaningful because they came out of it different than when they started it, and it's just kind of difficult to wrap your head around. It's like, is this Stephanie Meyer, who gave us the bland one-note Twilight characters, who absolutely didn't grow at all throughout the 4 books? How is this possible? Is it the same author? It's just like, I don't know. It was just amazing to see that she pulled that off and pulled it off really well. Now, there's one issue about the host that Stephanie Meyer really didn't overcome back when she was writing the Twilight novels. That's the inconsistent pace. As you know, with the Twilight books is essentially 400 pages of nothing. Then, oh shit, I have 2 or 3 chapters left. I need to add something remotely interesting that's no way related to the plot. And it's not like that in the host, but it's something very similar. It's just sort of like it can never really decide whether it really wants to be this intense, gripping sci-fi novel or a more slower personal story. I have no problem with slower stories, movies about books or movies or television shows that move at a slower pace as long as it sort of keeps up with that pace and maybe gradually builds and builds and builds. This kind of makes the book an extremely difficult read because there'll be times where you have 300 pages of absolutely nothing, then bam, something interesting happens, and then another 200 to 300 pages of nothing, then bam, something interesting happens. Just out of the blue, there is really no context, there is really no gradual building up. It's just nothing, 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 boom, nothing, 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 boom, nothing, 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 yeah, so on and so forth. That sort of thing, and it's really sort of. It made this book really difficult to read. It took me a month to read this book, and normally, unless unless I had, and I didn't, also because I had a lot of time, I'm also at college, so it made it really difficult to read in the first place. But when I could read, it made it very difficult to, just because of that really inconsistent pace. But the bottom line is, while it does suffer from that, the host is redeemed by its excellent characters and their development throughout the novel. And this is definitely, without a doubt, Stephanie Meyer's best novel to date. I mean, she completely, she really, I don't know what happened. I mean, honestly, you read Twilight and you read the Twilight Saga, and then you read the host. It's like, this is the same author. This doesn't make any sense at all whatsoever, and it's just. That's really the main thought that ran through my mind. But, because she really did a good job here. She really she really improved her writing style. She definitely did her best to make unique, complex, in-depth, characters with great sense of depth, not multiple personality, but they have really in-depth personalities. They're not just like one-note characters. They're not bland. They're not boring. They're not uninteresting. No character is like that in this book, and it makes it really feel like it's written by a completely different author. But again, it goes to show that Stephanie Meyer has the potential to write good, to be a great writer, but she just and it's just, yeah, I thought it was really good. It was really a pleasant surprise for me. I honestly didn't initially was very reluctant to read the host, but I read it and I enjoyed it. It wasn't that one of my favorites, but I really enjoyed it. It was a pleasant surprise. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today, guys. My next video is going to be a list of 5. Again, as always, I don't know what the list of 5 is going to be. I probably won't know until Wednesday, maybe, or maybe on Tuesday night. I'll probably figure something out by then. I have a few ideas floating around, but pretty much nothing as of right now. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it for today, guys. Again, I have. I'm gonna be I have stuff. I'm gonna posting the links of my Twitter and Tumblr page down below. I really recommend you guys check out the Tumblr page. The Tumblr page is more. The Twitter is more of a personal thing. I may post stuff up there occasionally, but I also have my Tumblr page too. The Tumblr is more connected with my channel here. So I'm gonna be posting stuff there that would normally be that I can't post for some reason, or I can't post in a video. I'll post up there in a channel on my Tumblr page, be posting other stuff there. So the Tumblr is more for my YouTube use. So Twitter is more for my personal use. But if you guys I'm going to be posting stuff occasionally on Twitter. So if you guys really want to check that out, go ahead. But the main thing is, check out the Tumblr page if you get the chance. So that's where the main hub is. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today, guys. And yeah, I will see you guys on Wednesday. All right, peace.